Seneca elucidated our minds that true happiness consists of enjoying the present without anxiously depending on the future. The idea is not just to find joy in the present moment, but to use the present as a tool to build our own esteem, character, and inner strength. Embarking on a journey to discover these Stoic strategies, these are the unknown tactics that can elevate our conduct, shape our character, and align us with the respect we seek from others as well as the respect we bestow upon ourselves. So let's dive into the depths of Stoic wisdom together, discovering the 7 psychological strategies that hold the key to a life of respect and virtue. Prepare to explore how the ancient can inform the present and how the echoes of Stoic thought can resonate in our modern lives. Before let's get started, I would appreciate it if you liked the video so you can help me continue spreading the Stoic philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Number 1 strategy: mastery of perception. The ancient Stoics understood that the essence of life is not shaped by what happens to us, but by the color of the glasses we choose to view these events. This is not about painting the ugly parts of life in a cheerful tone, but rather recognizing that each event is like a rough stone, whether we can see it as a mere rock or as the potential diamond it could become. Imagine giving a presentation at work. You've gone through the details, you've practiced your delivery, and yet when the time comes, the technology fails, the slides don't progress, the videos don't progress. Pass, and then you stand in front of your colleagues and superiors. The heavy air of expectation in this crucible. Your perception is the alchemist's tool. Do you see it as a personal disaster and embarrassment that will define your career? Or do you perceive it as a crucial moment to show your ability of adapting and communicating under pressure, choosing the guy you breathe, and perhaps even sharing a lighthearted comment about the reliability of technology that draws a knowing chuckle from the room? Then you proceed to deliver your presentation without the slides, engaging more directly and more humanly. You are not ignoring the accident, you are transcending it. Then people remember how you handled the situation with grace and balance. They respect you not for your impeccable presentation, but for your remarkable response to imperfection that is above perception and action. It is the transformative process that turns obstacles into stepping stones. It is not about denying the negative, but about harnessing it as a catalyst for personal excellence. By applying this strategy in various facets of life, you create a reputation, not as a person who never faces challenges, but how someone who remains unshakable in their midst. This does not go unnoticed. This is tacit trust, this mastery that naturally makes you respect. Embrace this principle and you will become a beacon of resilience, admired and trusted, not because of the absence of problems in your life, but for the sheer tenacity and ingenuity with which you navigate them. This is the power of perception, a Stoic tool as vital today as it was in the marble forums of ancient Greece. Strategy number 2: embracing control and choice. In our journey through the Stoic lens, we have come to a crossroads of control and choice. The Stoic teacher Epicurus famously stated that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. These words are not just a call to action, they are an invitation to freedom. To embrace control and choice is recognizing that although the world spins on its own axis, our reactions are ours to command. Let's unpack this with an example that resonates with many of us. You receive unexpected feedback from your manager that is nothing laudatory. It is at this moment, in this crucible of challenge, that Stoic and wise wisdom lights your path. You cannot control the feedback, nor can you undo it. But within you lies the tremendous power to choose your response. The instinctive reaction is defensiveness, a retort, or inner turmoil, but Stoicism invites us to choose differently. Perhaps in that moment you decide to truly listen. You allow each word to sit not as an accusation of failure, but as a guide to growth. You ask clarifying questions that you seek to understand, and then make a choice to use that feedback as raw material from which to carve a better, stronger version of your professional self. This choice is noticed by those around you. You are not just another employee, you become the embodiment of maturity and proactivity. That is what people respect, not a track record impeccable, but the courage to overcome failures and use them as a forge for improvement. When you take this principle into consideration, the broader strokes of life is transformative. You're in traffic and you're late. You can't control the red lights or the pace of the cars in front of you, but you can control the rising tide of frustration. So you select a podcast, an audiobook, Or maybe use the time to mentally rehearse your next day. You arrive not with the heart pounding with stress, but with the mind enriched or prepared. This is the power of choice. It is in these choices, those made silently without fanfare, that respect is born. People see a person who is not at the mercy of the unpredictable winds of life, but someone who sets their sails deliberately, who uses those winds to travel where they want to go. This is not a skill one is born with, it is developed, honed with each attempt, and it is this skill that earns true respect. Then when life throws its inevitable obstacles, remember the words of Epictetus, remember that control and the choice is your inherent Stoic powers. They are the silent force that can weather any storm, not by force, but by the sheer elegance of intention and of the will. This is what it means to live like a Stoic, and it is this living that naturally commands the respect of those who witness it. Strategy number 3, integrity and action. Integrity and action are the lifeblood of Stoicism, giving vitality to the philosophy's central tenet that virtue alone is sufficient for happiness. This Stoic virtue is not an abstract ideal, but a living force robust that shapes all aspects of a Stoic life in mundane choices and extraordinary decisions, where integrity and action emerge as the hallmark of a life lived according to reason. And virtue do not explain their philosophy, embody it taught. Epic, a guideline that demands a manifestation of one's values in the broadest sense, not just in thought but in every act and reaction within the complexities of day-to-day interactions. Integrity and action manifest themselves in countless ways in the business world. This can be seen in the refusal to participate in small office politics or to engage in gossip. It is the employee who, when faced with a conflict of interest, discloses it despite the potential for personal loss. It is the manager who gives credit to the person who credit is due, even when he could easily accept praise from subordinates. Working in these moments, the Stoics' actions are guided by an internal compass calibrated to integrity, as they are aware that every decision is a test of character and every action a chapter of their life story written for an audience of their own. As Marcus Aurelius reflected in his Meditations, a person's true worth is to be found in his actions and not in the realm of external things. Living with integrity means that a Stoic must often swim against the current of popular opinion or short-term gain, involves making choices that align with virtue, even when those choices are uncomfortable or lead to loneliness or criticism. Stoics recognize that integrity often requires sacrifice, and they are willing to bear those costs not for some external reward, but because they value their self-respect. Above all, furthermore, integrity in action is about resilience in the face of adversity. It is about maintaining a moral stance even when the world seems to conspire against him, in situations where dishonesty seems to flourish and shortcuts seem to lead to success. The Stoics remain steadfast. They understand, as Seneca wrote, that a person's worth is measured by the value of what they value, and what the reward for such an unwavering commitment to integrity is respect of the kind that is earned, not demanded, felt, unfeigned. This respect is a reflection of the true nature of someone's character, unshakable and unquestionable, for in a society often fixated on the end, justifying the means, the Stoic means are its end, is both the path and the destination. So integrity in action is not just a Stoic principle to be discussed. It is a way of being lived, transcends the pages of ancient texts, and becomes the script by which a Stoic structures his life. Is ultimately the purest form of respect one can hope to achieve, the respect that comes from a life lived in unwavering accordance with one's convictions, deepest Stoic principles, and virtues. Strategy number 4, cultivate empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and share another person's feelings, is not immediately recognizable as a Stoic virtue, but the Stoics deeply understood the value of empathy as a means of connecting with the human community and practiced the virtue of justice. Kindness is humanity's greatest delight, said Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, highlighting that the capacity for empathy is not just a passive feeling, but an active involvement in the well-being of others. Empathy in Stoicism is the recognition that all humans are fallible, struggling, and capable of error, but deserving of understanding and compassion. This cultivation of empathy does not imply emotional indulgence, but a rational recognition of the commonalities that unite us in the human. Is found in the patience we show to a new colleague struggling to learn the ropes, or the understanding we extend to a friend overwhelmed by grief. Consider the leader who takes the time to understand the unique challenges faced by each team member. This leader is not just managing, but leading with empathy. Demonstrating awareness of each person's experience contributes to the structure of the whole through empathy. This leader can navigate the team dynamics, align their strengths, and face their challenges, thus steering the ship with a keen eye on the horizon and a compassionate hand at the helm. Cultivating empathy also involves deeper involvement with the community. It is the entrepreneur who designs solutions not only for profit, but to meet the needs of society, understanding that their true value lies in the benefit they bring to others. It is the citizen who listens with an open mind to the points of view of others, recognizing that behind differing opinions and beliefs lie in common fears and hopes. Stoicism teaches that empathy must be guided by wisdom. It is not about taking on the emotional burdens of others, but to offer the right measure of support and understanding to promote growth and resilience wherever there is a human being. An opportunity for kindness, said Seneca, is a reminder that empathy is a resource available to us at all times, an opportunity that presents itself in every interaction. Practicing empathy, Stoics forge deeper connections and contribute to a society based on mutual respect and at understanding that empathy can bridge divides, heal wounds, and build trust, is a testament to recognizing that although we may walk our paths, we share the same road under the same stars and are made of the same stardust. So cultivate empathy is about recognizing the reflections of ourselves and others and acting on that recognition with kindness and justice. It is about expanding our circle of concern and understanding that each act of empathy sows seeds for a more compassionate and harmonious world. As we practice empathy, we not only uplift others, but also uplift ourselves. Align our actions with the Stoic ideal that the good of the individual and the good of the community are inextricably linked. Strategy. Number 5. The elegance of simplicity. The elegance of simplicity, a central concept in Stoicism, exalts the virtue of living a life weightless due to superfluous excess and not being influenced by the siren songs of consumerism. Wealth does not consist in having great possessions, but having few needs. Epicus advised that this advice is not a mandate for austerity, but an invitation to find wealth in the discreet and fulfillment in the essential. In the embrace of simplicity, there is a rejection of the disorder that so often dominates our physical spaces and mental landscapes. It is the choice to value quality over quantity, to seek experiences that enrich the soul rather than possessions that fill the home. Simplicity finds expression in the minimalist approach to life, where each object is chosen with intention and each activity is imbued with meaning. Imagine applying this principle to daily life can mean organizing your workspace by creating an environment where focus flourishes on personal finances, can manifest as a budget that prioritizes experiences and well-being over material accumulation. In relationships, the elegance of simplicity encourages us to invest in deeper connections with fewer people rather than spreading ourselves thin over many superficial commitments. The Stoic finds beauty and simplicity not only in his surroundings, but also in your actions and thoughts. Is a conscious decision to rationalize the complexities of life, to eliminate the noise and focus on what really matters. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within you and your way of thinking. This insight requires an internal simplification, a purification of desires, and an anchoring of contentment and self-sufficiency and reason. Choice, simplicity, and stoicism are also a tool for resilience in the face of life's inevitable upheavals. The individual who has cultivated a simple life, direct and unpretentious, is better prepared to adapt. They carry their tranquility within themselves, unshakable by external changes, because their happiness is not linked to the impermanent and external, but to the stable and internal. Living simply means stripping oneself of the non-essential so that the essential thing to talk about is to practice restraint in a world of excess and to find peace in a time of distraction. The elegance of simplicity is the art of combining what brings joy, clarity, and purpose. Is the Stoic understanding that in the tapestry of the most impactful threads in life are often those woven with the simplest patterns. In conclusion, the elegance of simplicity is more than an aesthetic choice, is a profound philosophical commitment that offers freedom, clarity, and a return to the foundations of human flourishing. Cultivating simplicity not only streamlines our external lives, but aligns our internal worlds with Stoic wisdom, where the greatest treasures lie, those found in the depths of a contented heart. Strategy number 6: the serenity of acceptance. Serenity of acceptance is a Stoic bulwark against the tumult of life's uncontrollable elements, is the recognition of our limited power to change external circumstances, together with the recognition of our absolute power to accept them, to accept the things to which destiny binds you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, conveying that peace does not come from control, but from granting control where it cannot be exercised. This acceptance is far from resignation. It is an active and powerful response to the challenges that fate presents. When a storm descends, the Stoic does not lament the rain, but instead reflects on the futility of such lamentations. They understand that the storm, like all external events, is indifferent to our desires and our discomforts. It is through acceptance that serenity is found, by not changing the nature of storm, but protecting the inner self from his rage in real-world scenarios. This calm acceptance can be transformative. Is the calm demeanor of the doctor who, after doing all he can for the patient, must wait for the result. Is the calm acceptance of the athlete who, after a defeat, recognized that some weather factors, the opponent's unexpected performance, were beyond their control. These individuals demonstrate a command of acceptance that does not undermine their efforts, but reinforces their equity. They show tells us that although the pursuit of excellence is within our domain, the result sometimes it is not the one who is courageous is free. Seneca tells us that the courageous individual in the Stoic sense is the one who accepts the limits of destiny, courageously freeing himself from the anguish of resisting immutable acceptance. He also cultivates resilience and is the strength to face loss, enduring pain and facing adversity not with bitter resignation, but with the understanding that these experiences are part of the human condition. The Stoic uses acceptance as a tool to maintain internal harmony. Even though the external world may be in disarray, they find serenity not in ideal circumstances, but in their response to the real circumstances they encounter. The serenity of acceptance is therefore a reflection of wisdom and strength. It doesn't mean you don't work to improve their situation, but they do, with the understanding that not all things are within your power to change. This harmonious balance between action and acceptance is the essence of the Stoic tranquility. Embracing acceptance is walking through life with a steady heart and a clear mind, understanding that although we cannot command the winds of destiny, we can adjust our sails, is to perceive the world with clarity, free from the distortions of frustration and disappointment. Cultivating the serenity of acceptance, in which we anchor the present undisturbed by the waves of the uncontrollable and master the only domain entirely ours to command, our inner self. Strategy number 7: living virtuously. Living virtuously is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, the culmination of its teachings, and the axis around which the Stoic life revolves. Virtue for the Stoics is not a lofty ideal, but a practical guide for living well. It is the personification of the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. As Seneca said elegantly, virtue is nothing more than the right reason to live. Virtuously is to engage with the complexities of life with a moral compass that points consistently toward the good means to make decisions based not on what is convenient or pleasurable, but on what is correct. Wisdom dictates that we choose the fair path instead of the easy one. Courage allows us to follow it despite our fears, and temperance allows us to act with moderation and self-control. The virtuous life manifests itself in countless daily choices. It is found in the honesty of the entrepreneur that conducts its negotiations with transparency, in the courage of the whistleblower who exposes irregularities at personal risk, and in the justice of the leading community that defends the marginalized. Is in the temperance of individuals who moderate their appetites and desires, recognizing that the self-discipline is the basis of freedom. Stoicism reminds us that living virtuously is an inner journey as much as an outward expression. To live happily is an inner journey. Power of the soul, which Marcus Aurelius proclaimed, indicating that virtue is intertwined with our tranquility and inner happiness, requires a continual effort to align our actions with our principles, regardless of rewards or external recognition. Living virtuously also means recognizing our interconnectedness with others and the world. We understand that our choices and actions With our principles, regardless of rewards or external recognition, living virtuously also means recognizing our interconnectedness with others and the world. We understand that our choices and actions spread to and impact the whole. Justice in the Stoic sense extends beyond individual interactions to a broader commitment to the well-being of society. Is the recognition of that our own good is linked to the good of others. In the practice of virtue, the Stoics find true wealth in that which is more valuable than a life well lived, that which is more lasting than the respect earned through integrity. Virtue is their reward itself, providing a deep sense of satisfaction that outlasts the fleeting pleasures sought by those who do not heed their calling. Conclude that living virtuously is the intentional practice of aligning every thought, word, and deed with the highest standards of moral excellence. It is a dynamic and active quest that challenges us to overcome base instincts and fleeting impulses and act in accordance with the noblest aspects of our character. In this quest, we find not only respect from others, but a deep self-respect that no external circumstances can decrease. As we commit to this path, we become beacons of stability and integrity in an ever-changing world, and in doing so, we leave a legacy that time itself will honor. When we reach the end of our discourse on the powerful psychological strategies derived from Stoicism, I urge you to pause and reflect. These are not just concepts to understand, but principles to live by. Ask yourself which of these strategies could be a catalyst for change in your life, how adopting a Stoic approach could guide it towards greater self-respect and the esteem of others. I encourage you to take these ancient ideas and apply them to the modern complexities of your daily life. See where they fit and where you may need to adjust your blinders to navigate the vast ocean of life. Feel free to share your intentions or any moments of Stoic clarity you've experienced in the comments below. Your journey is unique and your narrative could be one that inspires or enlightens someone else. Thank you sincerely for spending your time with us. Reflect on what you've learned and consider how you can implement these strategies on your path forward. For now, and may the wisdom of Stoicism guide you to a life of virtue and dignity. I hope to see you in the next video. Check out your subscription to this channel and leave your comment below.